With the holiday season gives scammers another chance to trick people, according to the AARP. The organization released a report that found nearly 4 in 5 American consumers have experienced some type of fraud this year, including gift card scams.
The group's research also showed some are unaware of the fraud that can happen even when they're shopping online. This afternoon, we're going to talk about awareness and prevention with Kathy Stokes. She is the director of the fraud prevention programs at the AARP Fraud Watch Network. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
We really want people to be able to spot some of these scams easily. So what are some of the ones that usually surface during the holidays?
The one that we're seeing that I think is concerning is the amount of people who are experiencing fraud when they try to buy something from an ad they see on social media. We found that about half of us will, purchase something this way, but a third of us are actually defrauded by doing that. So I think it just suggests that it's not a safe way to shop.
And Kathy, a lot of people have already started some of their shopping. The National Retail Federation estimates that a record 183 million people will shop in stores and online from Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday this year. But before someone hits buy on a website, what are the red flags they should pay attention to?
One of the more important things is to not trust text messages with links or email messages with links. And we're all getting bombarded as the holidays start up. Buy this here, get a discount there. But we don't know if that's a legitimate text message or a legitimate email. And it's harder still because of new technologies. So go right to a website by going to your web browser and typing in the web address. If it's a company you haven't heard of before, but you're interested in learning what they have, type that company name in and add the word scam or fraud and see what comes up. And you may be surprised to find that people have already reported it.
That's some good advice, too. Gift cards, those are obviously seen as a safe choice when you're struggling to pick out a present for somebody, but these can often be tied to fraud as well. In your research, what do those kinds of scams look like, and what should buyers watch out for now?
Yeah, it's so frustrating. We keep seeing year over year an increase in people who say that they've experienced giving or receiving a gift card that doesn't have a balance on it. And, sometimes I guess there could be an error at the point of purchase, so always keep that receipt. But quite often what is happening is these criminals are going into retail stores, taking the cards off the racks, exposing the information on the back of the cards, recording it, putting them back up there and just waiting for people to buy those cards. And as soon as they are purchased, they drain the funds. They also have an electronic means of doing this. They call them ghost bots that ping around the internet. Okay, I don't really know the technology behind it, but they ping around the internet and they look for cards that have value and then drain them.
Yeah, you have to be on the lookout. I didn't even realize all of these high-tech ways that people are able to do this.
Yeah.
But if someone unfortunately falls for one of these scams, what's your advice about what they should do next?
Well, interestingly, 2/3 of people who've experienced having that gift card with no value were able to get some of it back by contacting the retailer or the issuer from the number on the back of the card. So don't give up. And use it. Don't let it sit in your purse or your wallet for 6 months. But if something happens to you and it involves your bank, call the bank right away. See if you can stop the damage. We all should be reporting fraud when we experience a loss to the police. They have to know what's happening out there. And you want to have a report on file in case down the road you have some means of restitution available to you.
Yeah, and Kathy, before we let you go, I want to mention again that you work for the AARP Fraud Watch Network and recently put out a report into what kinds of scams your organization is seeing more often. Can you talk to us about what that report showed more in depth than what we've already highlighted?
Yeah, there's a part of the survey that we repeat year after year. It's 10 questions, true or false, on how much you know about being safe online when you're shopping. And sadly, from last year to this year, on a couple of those questions, more than a few, the knowledge dropped. So we're seeing people that have less awareness this year than last, that peer-to-peer apps do not have the same credit card protections as, they don't have the credit card protections. So when you use a peer-to-peer app to purchase a product and that product never makes it to you, you're out of luck. If you had bought that with a credit card, you could dispute it with the credit card company. So that's an important one. And then another one was if you're having a problem on your online account with the retailer, most people, 64%, think that they would expect that help person would ask you for your username and password. They will never do that. That gets you right into your accounts, and that can be a real mess. So anytime you're dealing with something like that and someone says, well, just give me your username and password, hang up. You know that that's a scam.
That's a good place to leave it for now. Kathy Stokes with the AARP, thanks again for being with us this afternoon.
I appreciate you.
And we'll be right back.